Guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here, and welcome back to an all-new World War II Zombies video. You've seen the title today. We're going to be talking about DLC 5 for World War II Zombies. Now, this is going to be a rather open-ended discussion because, obviously, the expectations are probably not that high, but I wanted to talk about this from a realistic standpoint and take all of the evidence that we have and sort of just mash it all together. Now, obviously, World War II Zombies has just released. We don't even have DLC 1 yet, and yes, it is way too early to be talking about this, and probably, unless it were to come out, this would probably be the only time that I intend on talking about this. But anyways, if you do enjoy this discussion, a like and a subscription would be very much appreciated. But with that all out of the way, let's get straight on into it. So, this is going to be talking about this idea from a rather laid-back perspective. This is not going to be me confirming anything or leaking anything like with Black Ops 3 Zombies, but rather I want to talk about this from a realistic standpoint. So, with Black Ops 3 Zombies, it was a massive thing when Zombies Chronicles released midway through Infinite Warfare's life cycle. This was the first time ever that we saw a DLC map pack release in between the next Call of Duty, and we know that Activision have been trying to push their games so that they're updated more often with seasonal events, and also after the new Call of Duty has released. Activision's CEO has also stated that they do plan on remastering more things as well. We just don't know exactly what they are referring to. Now, after Zombies Chronicles released for Black Ops 3 Zombies, this led people to think, well, maybe this is going to become tradition for Call of Duty, because if you're unaware, I believe back in the day, there were only 3 map packs, but then they changed it so that there was 4 map packs, and ever since then, it's just stayed that way. So, usually whenever a trend or something changes within the Call of Duty universe, it changes for all of the Call of Duty titles. That's usually what we see. For example, when the Creator Class system was introduced to Modern Warfare's multiplayer, it became a staple for all of the Call of Duties. So after Zombies Chronicles release for Black Ops 3 Zombies, it was a massive success. It sold really well, it made Activision a ton of money, and it helped keep their shareholders happy due to the downfall of Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare obviously didn't perform well in the sales, but luckily Zombies Chronicles sort of helped with boosting sales to keep their shareholders happy, because if you're unaware, it is a legal requirement for any business to try and make as much money as possible. It is actually a legal requirement so that their shareholders have value. But anyways, with Zombies Chronicles being such a huge success, this led people to think, well, hang on a minute, we know that Activision are trying to regularly update the other games. They're adding DLC weapons even after the current Call of Duty has released, and with Infinite Warfare Zombies, we saw not necessarily a DLC 5 per se, but it was a pretty huge expansion, which was the introduction of the Boss Battles mode to Infinite Warfare Zombies, and this was introduced during a special seasonal Halloween event. Now, it wasn't a full-on DLC 5 because they weren't full-on new maps, but it was a brand new mode, and although you didn't have to pay for this, personally, if I think that they would have made us pay for this, I think Activision would have gotten Infinity Ward to make us pay for this if it wasn't for the fact that Infinite Warfare was doing so poorly, that I just don't think people would have been willing to pay for this new mode. And I think that if it was doing successfully, Activision would have definitely, sunk their teeth in and made us pay for this. But regardless, we've seen Black Ops 3 Zombies and then Infinite Warfare Zombies have new content after the game has, finished its life cycle. So are we going to see a similar thing for World War II Zombies? Yes, I do think so. However, I don't know if it's going to be a full-on DLC 5. Now, the reason why I say this is because, once again, I don't think the viewership is really there for World War II Zombies. We've seen from the Final Reich that views on YouTube are actually lower than they were for Zombies in Spaceland, so it's really not looking promising. Personally, I really like the mode, but I just feel like the interest isn't there, and I don't think that many people would be willing to pay for a DLC 5. Let me know in the comment section down below, if a DLC 5 were to come out for World War II Zombies, let's say during the course of when Treyarch's next Call of Duty release, which is probably Black Ops 4, we don't know the actual name at the moment, would you be willing to buy it? Because personally, I think that if Treyarch's next Call of Duty is released, we're obviously going to be getting new Zombies maps constantly for that game. I don't think there would be any reason to go ahead and get a new map pack for World War II Zombies. It doesn't make much sense. I do think there is going to be another DLC 5, a Zombies Chronicles 2 per se, for the next Treyarch game, Black Ops 4 Zombies or whatever it's called. I do think that game's going to have a DLC 5, but I don't think it's going to come for World War II Zombies. I've been thinking about this a lot because I know a lot of people have been saying, well, you know, this is probably going to become a tradition for Call of Duty. I think this whole DLC 5 thing is going to become a tradition for just the Treyarch games. The only reason is because the Treyarch games just do so well. They have such a larger and a loyal fan base that, let's say another developer released a DLC 5 whilst the Treyarch game was the current Call of Duty, people are going to be too interested in that game to go back to the other game. We've seen this since Black Ops 2. People have been playing Black Ops 2 through all of the years until the Black Ops 3. Now people are playing Black Ops 3 through the years until the next Treyarch game. This seems to be a big tradition, so I think they're going to add new map packs to the Treyarch games when they're not the current Call of Duty, but I don't think they're going to do it for World War II Zombies. What I do think they will do is I think they will add new stuff to the mode. I don't know what that will be, maybe a new mode like they did with Infinite Warfare Zombies, such as the boss battle mode. I do think they're going to add new content to the mode, but I don't think it's going to be a full-on map pack, because what would they give to us? What would they give for a map pack? Because I doubt they're going to give us the Exo Zombies maps remade. That is one possibility that they could do. They could give us the Exo Zombies maps remade, but that doesn't make sense because the maps were already on current gen. There's no point to remake them unless they were going to do a spin-off of these maps where they don't have the Exo anymore and they tie into the World War II Zombies storyline. But again, that doesn't make any sense, so I doubt they're going to do that. So the only other option is that they would create a brand new map. I doubt they're going to give us a brand new Zombies map. So personally, in my own personal opinion, I just think that we're not going to see a DLC 5 for World War II Zombies, but I do think we're going to see new content for World War II Zombies after the game's life cycle has ended, possibly before Treyarch's new Call of Duty comes out, or maybe even during the course of that. We really don't know. Maybe in the form of new weapons, new modes, or just some sort of new content. But yeah, there's not really much to talk about. I don't think a DLC 5 is coming for World War II Zombies. Just what would they remake? There is nothing to make really for a DLC 5. It's either remade Extra Zombies maps or a brand new map, and either one seems like too much effort. They're going to be working on their next title as well. However, I do think they are going to have a DLC 5, as I said, for the next Treyarch game. I think that's definitely set in stone because there's still 7 more maps that they need to remake, and it's already pretty much confirmed we're going to be getting a Mob of the Dead remake, whether that's in the form of a DLC 5 or the bonus map for Treyarch's next Call of Duty. We don't know at the moment.
But yeah, Mob, I can't say too much, but what I would say is I'm sure there's another purpose for that at some point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I didn't feel it thematically fit in the pack, and yeah, who knows? Who knows?
But you know that map's special.
So it has a special place in our hearts, you know.
That at least like that's good. I think that's a good answer for the community.
Yeah.
It's like that. I think that was one of the number one questions I had. Like just after that whole stream was, why not Mob? Like why not stuff like that?
There's 8 maps, and I think it has another place, and you know.
But yeah, I thought that would make this discussion. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of all of this? As I said, new content I believe is coming for the game after its life cycle has ended, because Activision have been trying to push that thing of, you know, seasonal events and stuff like that. So they're probably going to do stuff like that, where they'll have seasonal events constantly, just to increase the game's life cycle a bit. But I don't think they're going to do too much, just because Treyarch are the juggernauts, so they're going to be pulling all of the player base next year, so there won't really be any time for them to release a DLC 5. And a DLC 5 just won't make sense from a storyline standpoint or anything like that. But anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for latest and greatest World War II Zombies news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.